one of our members of our table has already left, and she was the one who had some comments that I'll share, and then Wade had some comments as well, so we'll do a double duty here. But, you know, I had actually kind of started the conversation by saying, if I were a student right now listening to some of what was talked about this morning, some, I'd feel a little depressed to hear, just in all honesty, about how like academia is slow to accept social entrepreneurship into its curriculum, and how they look at traditional business courses as really kind of the meat and, you know, where they want to go. And Hannah was saying that one of the things that she does is invite practitioners to talk to the students, and some of the organizations will say, you know, I know students are concerned about funding issues in terms of social entrepreneurship, but really we don't think sometimes they have very good ideas, and we're all about, you know, competing in the marketplace, and we don't see how that's going to help us. And so I was thinking, I was a little kind of down about that, but then you're hearing Steve Garber talk about like, why are we, you know, doing this? You know, we do it because it's right. It's meant to be. We're people of integrity. At least we you know, that's what we say we are. And we're people who want to be responsible, and we want to help our planet, and we want to have people. That's who we are. If we don't do that, and back to Kwan's also discussion we had last time about this being maybe a movement time in Seoul. This young woman here said, you know, I think, you know, in Seoul we may just be late changers right now in terms of this whole area, and I thought that's really insightful. You know, developmentally, this is where I think Seoul is at right now in terms of, and how excited that you can be to be a part of this movement that can change that whole perception of the value of social entrepreneurship. And so we kind of all cheered and said, yeah, we can, you know, we're excited that we can be part of this movement, and if we don't do it, who's going to do that? We could choose not to. Let's say we are very passionate about changing people, planet, and making money. And we don't do anything about that. That would be depressing. What gets exciting is when we can realize that we can change that whole paradigm in this society. So that was one of our discussions.
Okay, so between us, our table, we have a common background about a more personal background, like Christianity. So we talk about Christianity into these fields, like social ventures and impact business. So as a comment and as an overview about this kind of old-fashioned conference. Yeah, this is more comfort is personal idea, but I want to share this. I think this is can be more religious or more things that we do in this in all over the world and all of these fields. So yeah, we can do it whatever we want, and we can do whatever we have to do so. But only the person who believes in God and Christianity. So we can share our community, and we can do our personal things in religious things in as a big community. So that will be a great power, a great connections, great things you can share, and as a purpose, as a dreams, kind of dreams. So it was very grateful to me to learn about your things, your ways, your jobs. So yeah, I'm very grateful for all of you. So and inviting me as a student to Professor Tan. Yeah, thank you for all of you. So, yeah, thank you.
There's enough time.
Individually. Okay. So yes, I really struggle in terms of the fact that I learned a lot in this field, because like as a student I was really I only learned it really theoretically, and then I was really confused and vague about this field, but then I became a little bit more clear, and I think it was really grateful for me to have conversation about the religious background in this field. So it was very personal, but I learned a lot, so yeah, thank you.
Okay.
during the conference, I know that many people's concern for helping others and how to make a social impact. Actually, I have been seeing that entrepreneur being that side, but many CEOs and teams try to make a social innovation. Is I'm so grateful. Sorry, I'm not good English.
It's okay.
That is very grateful company.
Few years ago, there is no chance in my life such this conference, like this conference. So, thank you, thank you for focusing, gave me this chance. And during this conference, I thought about some scripture. That is, rejoice those who rejoices, weep with those who weep. I don't know what I said. Yeah, I want to be. I want to more grow up. Sorry.
So I learned a lot of things like social impact and social business. So thankful and this experience for coming to Vietnam.
I don't know real social business like leather that made by Amazon Malaysian people and that case and another case like soup that changed the street and more positive. And I studied these cases. A lot of people made work sensitively and more sustainable, and I so touched this and this gave me reality of this part, and I will make this my goal and realization for my life.
It was really cool to hear about how business model of social entrepreneurship actually works in reality, and I wish that this field is something that only some students who are interested in social values, not just them, but I wish that all the other students or all the other people are engaged in this field.
We discussed how social innovators is fostered in regular education, and we concluded it must be embedded in primary and mandate educations like philosophy and math. It can make potential social innovators start their full practice, and it can make plenty of experts. I'm so pleasure to take lectures from Kim in Boston. I was very interesting and inspiring. It was very, very inspiring. Thank you so much. From Monday lecture, Kwang professor to
until now, this conference. I really, in this time, I really studied about social sector and social business and how to we make social value. And still now, I have to more study about that area, and I really appreciate that it gave me this opportunity that came about it, and I'm really looking forward to being in our program with tomorrow, and thank you for all you guys.
영어로 보고 I have poor English.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's
저는 다른 대학교에서 좀 소개를 받아서 왔는데 이런 과정이 있는 게 너무 부러웠고 사실 영어를 잘해야겠다 생각이 좀 제일 먼저 들었고 그리고 이제 소감이랑 제가 생각하는 바에 대해서 약간 나누자면 기업이 단기적인 이윤을 추구하고 장기적인 성과를 추구하게 된 내용은 이런 시스템이 만들어졌기 때문이라고 생각을 하는데 그래서 저희가 교육 과정에서도 이런 것을 배우려면 제 생각에는 소셜 섹터 상에서도 어떤 사회적인 가치에 대한 합의점이 있고 그런 체계들이 좀 세워지고 그래야 이제 그런 기업가들이 활동할 수 있을 만한 안전장치가 좀 마련이 돼서 그 시장 자체가 좀 열려지고 좀 넓어질 수 있을 것 같아서 그런 부분에서 약간 연의와 교육들이 이루어지는 많은 생각을 했습니다.
As someone with ties to Hanyang University with regard to social innovation, through the years I have realized that even for the students who actively and passionately participated in social innovation courses or like field experience such as internship, their career tended to end in for-profit field. But finding the answer for this was and is always a tough journey, but today's conference really indeed gave me an inspiration for this answer. Thank you.
Thank you for this program, and I'd like to share a little bit about my talk during the last time with Jay. She left already. We talked about the new fourth industry revolution because we know that yes, we're doing everything for good. Social impact, we talk about it, but basically we're based on the entrepreneurship. We're businessmen who are looking for opportunities. We believe that it should be and this is really critical moment because of the fourth industrial revolution, the new structure of new world order is being settled, and we are still drawing the blueprint of the upcoming future. It means that anyone can draw a picture of this upcoming world, and we believe that we need to be a pioneer, not a follower. So we need to be very aware about the new technologies, how the world is changing. For example, blockchain has really good, it has an innate good characteristic. For example, decentralization, transparency that can be very, very utilized in the social sectors. So yes, we always care about the charity issues, the voluntary issues, the goodwill, but at the same time, as an entrepreneur, we need to be very aware about how the world is changed, what kind of opportunities is lying on the future, and we need to be a pioneer, a follower. Thank you.
감사합니다. 저도 짧게 소감만 말씀을 드리겠는데요. 저는 와서 그 11년 전에 우리 한국에서 사회적 경제 이제 유서법 처음 시작되면서 10년 지났는데 그때도 쭉 현장에 있었습니다. 현장에 있으면서 와서 우리 현장 교수님 보기에도 와서 보니까 일단 너무 엄청 부러웠습니다. 이런 컨퍼런스와 이런 그 모임들이 전에 있었으면 얼마나 좋았을까라고 하는 그런 생각에 여러분들은 축복된 세대신 것 같아요. 잘 배우시고 경험해서 발전이 좋겠다는 생각을 한번 해보게 되고요. 하나 더 나누고 싶은 건 뭐냐면 아마 이런 좋은 사례들, 이런 좋은 또 실질적인 내용들이나 또 윤리적인 부분들이 또 한국적 상황하고 다른 또 세계적인 상황들하고는 차이가 좀 있을 겁니다. 그런 부분들을 현장에서 적용하시는 부분들이 또 앞에 이후에도 또 계획이 있으실 텐데 잘 맞춰서 되면 좋겠다는 생각이 들었고 우리 김과 우리 어드바이저님하고 잠깐 또 대화를 나눠보니까 저희들이 고민하고 했던 부분들이 이분들하고 크게 다르지 않다고 하는 것을 또 이렇게 보게 되었던 것 같아요. 그래서 계속 이 모임과 하얀의 중심으로 발전들이 계속해서 이어지는 바람을 가지고 옵니다. 감사합니다.
A couple of points. One about discussion about table, and another. I've been observing that a lot of you are talking about how this conference was meaningful in terms of your realize that most of us come from a Christian background. And I think I'm so glad that the conference was meaningful in terms of how this has been able to affirm your faith. One thing that we need to keep in mind is that, and I don't know in this room, there might be some others who are not in the same faith. So I think we all excited that we can celebrate the fact that you're able to express your faith in rooms like this, but we do need to be mindful about that we don't exclude, that there's no sense that we're excluding other people. And I'm not saying that you should not bring up the issues of your faith, but it's just that the issue of that you can express it, but at the same time, let's be mindful about the people who are who don't share this belief. It's a bit overwhelming because we're all majority Christians, and we start using Christian language. It kind of feels good for within ourselves, but we need to be mindful about people from the outside. And there's also another thing is that even though we use a lot of language as social innovation, we do make this more mainstream. So the more quickly David's point and others, we can bring this to become like normal businesses, even though there's social intent, I think the better. So we need to think about how we develop a language that's more inclusive, both to the outside world in terms of business, as well as people who don't share a belief. So in a way, we become missionaries, but we need to be wise about how we do this, both in terms of how we express our faith, as well as how we turn the language into a more inclusive to the outside world in terms of the business. And we had a really interesting conversation about how this type of meetings is really meaningful for people who is really anti-cultural to West Korea, and how important this type of meeting is to sustain the type of community for people who are interested in this, but it's hard to be accepted outside this type of circle. So I want to share some of the conversation that we had at this table.
한마디 좀 하겠습니다. 저 개인적으로 어제 참석을 못해서 좀 아쉬웠는데, 저는 지금 일반 기업에서 잠깐 일하다가, 그리고 비영리 사회적 기업에서도 일을 하다가, 지금은 석사 공부를 하고 늦게 이제 들어와서 좀 지는데, 전공이 이제 교육학에서 HRD, 그러니까 인적 자원 개발 및 성인 계속 교육학이라는 전공을 하고 있고요. 하면서 느끼는 거는 여기 와서도 저는 어른들에 대한 교육이나 그런 부분에 대해서 관심이 되게 많았었지만, 역시 좀 와서 함께 좀 대화 나눴을 때 열려가고 인사이트를 얻는 것들이 되게 많구나라는 것을 다시 한번 느끼게 되고, 아까 이제 말씀 서로 나누면서 이야기했던 것들이 이런 그런 어떤 엔터프리너십을 좀 더 활성화시키거나 그들을 청년들을 돕기 위해서 어떤 게 필요할까라고 생각했을 때, 제가 생각했을 때 대단했던 포인트는 이런 만남의 장 자체가 굉장히 중요하다라는 생각을 했던 것 같습니다. 그래서 진짜 그들을 길러가는 50% 이상을 좀 이런 곳에서 찾을 수 있는 것 같은 게, 이유가 평소에 주변의 친구들한테 이런 성수동의 헤이그라운드나 이런 어떤 컨퍼런스나 문화들을 설명했을 때 거의 다 모르거든요. 근데 아는 사람들은 되게 깊게 빠진 것도 그런 어떤 엔터프리너십을 이렇게 발휘하려고 노력하는 사람들이 되게 많더라고요. 그래서 좀 우리가 많이 알려야 되지 않을까, 이런 어떤 컨퍼런스를 많이 알리고, 1층에 보면은 Everyone 체인지메이커라고 모든 사람이 그런 어떤 소셜 임팩트를 줄 수 있는 사람이라고 표현을 하고 있는데, 그런 좀 잠재되어 있던 것들을 어떤 각각의 영역에 있는 것들로 저는 교육 쪽에서, 문화 쪽에서 이렇게 해보고 싶은 마음이고, 그렇게 될 수 있는 앞으로 좀 이런 모임들이 많았으면 좋겠다라는 생각을 하게 된 것 같습니다. 감사합니다.
This is the conference, the best conference I've ever participated in seriously. I really appreciate all of you, and especially Dave, Don, and Kwang. Yeah, I was very amazed because I have a lot of lessons from yesterday, especially the measuring the impact. That's one of the biggest one for me. And the second one is structuring and the blend of a financial return and the social return together that they explained in the morning. And the third one is the guide program. Kedan introduced to us. I'm teaching the student, Gachon University, summer and winter. And after that, we send them to the Silicon Valley, participating in the guide program. And this is more than 2 years. And I was shocked because the students coming back from the U.S. and it changed a lot. Yeah, and I asked him, "Are you the same guy?" Yeah. Yeah. So they not only they speak in English well, but also they changed all their minds and they become the great guys. The one example is working for Tesla and moved to SAP, and now the Adecco is the junior CEO course, and they become the winner. Yeah, so I was so amazed that that's the same person. Yeah, so I think it's back in 2000 I started my venture capital work. The venture capital is only focused on the internet business. It's very small, only in front of the PC. That's the internet business. It's a very small part. But nowadays, as Mark Anderson announced that the software is eating the world, and the software is everything and everywhere. And the venture capitalists to try to figure out where is the internet. It's got agriculture and the healthcare and the car everywhere can be adapted. So I think it's the social world is now a very small world, but we can only share. But at the end of the day, the Hyun explained yesterday is social is inevitable, and that's the center of the world, I believe. So that's why this is the best starting point. So that we should remember today, after the 20 years will is the after, so we can remember this conference. Okay, thank you.
Actually, I'm so nervous because he is a so brilliant English speaker. Actually, I'm the brilliant English speaker from this table. Actually, I'm at the first step from now on by two guys' help, actually. So I have no choice but to learn about the capital thing and impact investment because I started my plan from this table. And actually, I learned a lot of information, and actually, I learned from Professor Kong about the weakness of the impact investment. So I'm just quite how Professor Shin will get over the problems. Actually, it's an honor to meet you guys, and I'm so thankful for listening. Yeah.
Overall, I think it was really inspiring since I have no background in this field or business at all. So it was really inspiring to see this all going on. And to be honest, I really didn't know that it was such a big, growing field until I saw like real examples that were going on all over the world. So it was personally really inspiring, and I guess it really opened my perspective as well. And yeah, one thing we discussed, I think, was whether like social businesses or should be profitable, make a lot of money, and I think that's like a real dilemma. But I think in this world we really need money to do good things, and I think it's something that all of us in this table at least agree upon. So that's one thing I would share from this discussion. But I also personally believe that whatever you do, I mean, whether you help people or make money, I mean, it's something that you should do with your heart and not just your mind. So, and I was really happy to meet people here, I think, who kind of share that heart about social impact or like social influences. So thank you. Yeah.
So I was especially inspired by the two women at our table. How thoughtful they are and intentional they are about their future, and how they want to do meaningful things, and they're very strategic about how do I do that in a way that I'm going to have a lifestyle that's sustainable, and I'm also going to be happy. And I just felt like the sincerity and the searching was so honest that I was inspired by that. So if everyone in the conference leaves with that same attitude, I think we have all done a great thing. So thank you very much for sharing.